or organized religion, which hit
They plotted against African spirituality
over the head.
Yes.
To forget who he is. You know what I mean?
Plotted against some of the stuff that we showed you earlier about the sacred sciences and the sacred information that they have basically. Nature. Your connection is just nature, family. It is only the forces of nature. Like I said, the 90% unseen. Palomayombe is the divination of sticks. Okay? And some is the divination of cowrie shells. This is your relationship with the nature. By using things of nature to communicate with nature. Like I said, there is a power the same way your telephone and your computer is communicating with something that you can't see right now. That's facts. So this man has been buried. His story has been buried. If they pull him out of the shallow grave with a lion's grip and the children get to read his story and what he did in his story and what the Moors represent, they will wake up and the sleeping giant will wake up. They are afraid of the sleeping giants. Hiram Abiff represents the sleeping giant. When he wakes up, his roar will be heard all around the world and he will shake the pillars of the matrix and mountains will fall into the oceans. When a debate arises about the prominent leaders of color from past and present, the names that you will frequently hear are discussed: Frederick Douglass, W.D. Du Bois, George Washington Carver, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and current President Barack Obama. Seldom, if ever, is the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali mentioned. This is perhaps so little is known or documented about him. In trying to research his biography or attain any information about him, the seeker is limited to brief excerpts or commentary provided by one of his thousands of followers. Noble Drew Ali plays an integral role with the progression and enlightenment of black people as a culture as any of the previously mentioned individuals. It is important to recognize the accomplishments of lesser known groundbreakers and innovators in as much as it is to celebrate the achievements of those thought to be world renowned. So who was Noble Drew Ali? Who are the Moors and why are they important? Next slide. During the European Dark Ages, before the 7th and 14th century AD, the Moorish Empire in Spain became one of the world's finest civilizations. General Tariq and his black Moorish army from Morocco conquered Spain after a week-long battle with King Roderick in 711 AD. Do they tell you this in school?
Hell no. Hell fuck. Oh,
they teach you this in Black History Month.
Yeah.
The word Tarif and the Rock of Gibraltar were named after him.
Yeah.
They found that Europe, with the assistance of the Catholic Church, had returned to almost complete barbarism. But they came to Africa and you was the barbarian. They stifled you and completely changed your perception of your historical achievements and accomplishment in a historical manner. Because the now is powerful, but what about the millennials? What about the millions of years that you existed? What if they just erased it and said it never existed? Do you understand the power of that? Do you understand the power of quantum physics? Did you not see the movie What the Bleep is? What the Bleep Do You Know?
Yeah. Quantum physics.
With the multi-universe and the multi-worlds and the whole thing, that time is not linear, that it's centrifugal. So if I change your past, I change your present and then your future.
That's right. Speak upon it, God.
And you don't exist in the future because they changed your past, because they took you out of the past, so they don't got to show you in the future. They wrote you out. And what they're doing right now is everything concerted to take your ass out. Facts. But your perception of who you are in the black dot, you took yourself out. It's not even that. Remember, they work magic. The wars on principalities are higher. What higher principalities that we cannot see or touch and things of that nature? If they could program your perception and your mind and put your ass in the bind, if you put yourself in the grave, they don't got to do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So by withholding information, by withholding the truth, the people perish for a lack of knowledge. They have controlled us. The Moors reintroduced, so they said that they were going through savagery. Barbarism, eating each other, cannibalism, rape. The population was 90% illiterate and lost all of the civilizing principles that were passed on by the ancient Greeks and Romans, and they wasn't civilized. So if they lost with the uncivilized past to them, imagine how they was living. I didn't write this. You could get in your time machine tonight and go back. You know what I'm talking about? Go get the DeLorean. That's why they scared to introduce niggas to time traveling. They probably got it. But your ass can't afford a ticket. Because if you go back and see what it was, you're going to come back ready to go to war.
Montauk Project.
The Moors reintroduced mathematics, medicine, agriculture, and physical science. If they ever tell you in school that you didn't attribute anything to society, just take that away. Just take that back. Be an Indian giver. You know what? Let me just take this back. Now what would society be? I'm going to take back mathematics. I'm going to take back medicine. I'm going to take back agriculture. I'm going to take back the physical sciences. Mister, I didn't contribute anything, and let's see where you're going to be. Yes. Facts. The clumsy Roman numerals were replaced by Arabic figures, including the 0 and the decimal point. They didn't have zeros before that. As Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, Google Ivan Van Sertima, get his books. You can't do higher mathematics with Roman numerals. The Moors introduced agriculture to Europe, including cotton, rice, sugarcane, dates, ginger, lemons, strawberries. They also taught them how to store grains for up to 100 years and built underground grain silos. They established a world-famous silk industry in Spain. The Moorish... So...
Yeah. God's like, yeah.
Saying, buying Versace. Versace. Illuminati, absolutely. Niggas is dying for Versace.
Yo, man.
Sisters are selling the yoni. You understand?
Yeah.
For Michael Kors bags.
Yeah.
Facts. The youth is doing triple life for Ferragamos. It's all Roman. It's all from Italy. You introduced all of that to them. Ain't no crocodiles in Europe, fam. Just saying. Ain't no reptilians, ain't no reptiles in Europe. Where they got that from? Ain't no gators in there. And all of that other stuff. You brought the finest silks to them. The Moorish achievement in hydraulic engineering was outstanding. They constructed an aqueduct that conveyed water from the mountains to the city through lead pipes from the mountains to the city. They taught them how to mine for minerals on a large scale, including copper, gold, silver, tin, lead, and aluminum. Spain soon became the world center for how. Get me up in Harvard, family. I'm just ready for them, though. Go. This is a small campaign, but the Crusades is up in Harvard. I'm ready to take them heads. Spain was eventually manufacturing up to 12,000 blades and shields per year. Spanish craft and woolen became world famous. The Moorish craftsmen also produced world-class glass, pottery, vases, mosaics, and jewelry. The Moors introduced to Europe paved, lighted seats with raised sidewalk for pedestrians, flanked by uninterrupted rows of buildings. Paved and light streets did not appear in London or Paris for hundreds of years. They constructed thousands of public markets and mills in each city. Cordova had 5,000 of each. They also introduced to Spain underwear and bathing with soap. They run into Europe. But then they say, yo, they treat us good in Europe. Right? Brothers go to Europe. They come back happy. Sisters go to Europe. You know, I went to Italy. They was feeling me. In France, they wanted to dance. There's an influence that you left over there that America erased some things. But they don't erase those things over there. It's still in the air. They still pay homage. Have you ever ventured into Europe, Ross? Anybody ever going to Europe? Okay. You know what I'm saying? We need the global cloud. But anybody that you know, from the brothers that play ball over there, to when the jazz musicians went over there and were welcomed during Jim Crow era.
Miles Davis.
Right? To the rappers who always go and tour over there. Be like, I'm eating in Europe. They treat you differently. Because the foundation that you laid is undeniable. You knew that this paradigm of reconstructed history that the European, the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, whose home base, his nest is Boston. right? The wasp, the one that reconstructed this whole thing, he's the one who will deny all of this. He's the one that will die. Those are the lodges, that's the secrets that the lodges is keeping. They would die before you figured this shit out. Because the emperor has no clothes. Let's talk about poor hygiene and soap. Because we've heard about that before. Their public baths numbered in the thousands when bathing in the rest of Europe was frowned upon as a diabolical custom to be avoided by all good Christians. What did they tell you? That godliness was close to what?
Cleanliness.
Their public baths, they talking about the Moors, numbered in the thousands when bathing in the rest of Europe was frowned upon as a biological custom to be avoided by all good Christians. Poor hygiene contributed to the plagues of the rest of Europe. Moorish monarchs dwelled in sumptuous palaces while the crown heads of England, France, and Germany lived in barns lacking window, toilets, and chimneys with only a hole in the roof as an exit for smoke. Drops the mic.
Oh.
Anybody see Game of Thrones? I watches that. Yeah, it's my shit. Yeah, it's my shit. Yeah, they lying in that movie. Yeah, it's my shit, but they lying. They swagger jacking. Know what I'm talking about? Trading places. The magic of Hollywood. Where their most powerful weapon, where all magic takes place. They could tell you anything that they want if you got the money to go and see it. Human waste material was thrown in the streets since no bathrooms were present. How is it that when they came to America, they killed all of the people on contact? Did you ever question that? Huh? How was they able to give them blankets and when they put the blankets on, they died? Over here in the millions. They erased civilizations by coughing on them. Facts. But they was clean. So when you do rituals and you dirty, what you think you summon up?
Demons.
They wasn't praying to Saint Agnes. They wasn't summoning up no white spirits, no good spirits, no benevolent spirits. They was summoning up demons that you never seen on this planet. They was fighting spiritual warfare that you have no ideas about. Man, filthy and stuff. So we walk by homeless people these days and stun on them. Oh, he stinks. Get off the train asking for a quarter. But picture a whole city like that. And now they look at you and laugh. Trading places. You brought them soap. Who's seen the movie Perfume? Please go get that. It should be on Netflix. They give it up in Perfume. They tell you the whole thing. Education was made mandatory by the Moors while 90% of Europe was illiterate, including the kings and queens. The Moors introduced public libraries to Europe with 600,000 books housed in Cordova alone. They established 17 outstanding universities. So why the hell don't you think that the war on Islam is not a war on the Moors? Why the hell don't you think that them drones in Iraq and Syria and all other places where this history is, they not blowing that shit to smithereens? Have you ever questioned that? Because the people that are there are usurpers in the first damn place. They not the original OGs of that land. They usurpers, the pale Arab. They usurped that land, the Ottomans, the Mamelukes. So it's nothing to come and destroy these lands. All right, and we're going to go to the next slide, and then we're going to take a break right after that. Next slide, please. The other man of the Trinity, to close out that triad, he needs no introduction. The supreme wisdom of ancient technology. Okay? So he brought you the higher elevated wisdom and charted the stars and the moon and all kind of other things. It was industrious. It was illustrious. And raised up some of the greatest men that this planet has ever seen in terms of reformed black men and women. He took you off of dope, man. He's taking killers and cleaning them up. But they wasn't no sissies or they wasn't meek anymore. They would still put in that work if need be. But he put bow ties on them and cleaned them up and made them wise men. Drunkards. Drug head, dope fiends and all of that. You got to have supreme wisdom and knowledge to do that. He told you in the 30s that the black man was God. And the white man was the devil. He told you about Yakub. He told you about all of these other things. He told you about experiments that took place, that they're coming together right now because of genome experiments and genetics and saying that, hold on. We're seeing evidence of gene splicing in these genome projects. Doesn't make sense. Certain races of people are not all the way human. They're mankind. They have been, kind of man. So this man completes that trinity and that triad. Not only did he talk about technology, he showed you it. He demonstrated it. So that would be the conclusion to the first part of that lecture. That's just to get you comfortable with the technology that I'm fit to bring to you. So we could put ourselves in that seat and prepare ourselves for what they have out there waiting for us. But this was just a primer to relate, to put you in that shoe, to say, don't ever look down on yourself in the world of technology. Don't ever look down on yourself in the world of arts. Don't ever look down on yourself in the world of science. Them Oxford universities were founded by Moors, Ivy League colleges. So Harvard and all of these quote-unquote Ivy League schools, they were their progenitors and the people who laid the foundation of schools of higher learning. They got that from the Moors. So don't be intimidated by what they doing over there. Go up in them libraries and go get your books. Go up in them libraries and go get your scrolls. Go up in them libraries or go up in them schools and sit down and match wits with the individuals that are in school. Because you can do that. So thank everybody for their attention. Please, I beg, don't leave until we deal with this second part. Yeah. Like I said, this is one PDF. I got 3 PDFs that I'm going to be selling on a disc, right? For the family. What we're going to do is take an email list of everybody that wants to purchase that PDF. I'm going to ask for a down payment. We're going to make the copies of it, and we're going to have our good brother, Arafat and Dooley, be able to distribute all of the work. This is my dissertation, this is my research, but it is our research. And then nobody owns any knowledge. You feel what I'm saying? This is not mine. You know what I mean? It came to me when I asked for it. And the ancestors put it together in the sense that I could share it with the family, but it does me no power if I go back to New York with all of this goddamn information, some heavy stuff. This is for you to take into your travels, into your journey, into your teaching experiences, and enlighten the family. So thank you. We will commence with part 2. There's a donation bucket right there for the family. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a donation. Please put in some donations for both me, the brother Blue, the brother Ross, and whatnot, and we're going to continue. Peace.
Yes. Hold on 1 second.